And
Dream Crusher!
Don't believe in aliens, they're never going to land. Don't believe in cryptids that leave footprints in the sand. Don't believe in spirits appearing from the dead. The only demons out there are living in your head. Dream Crusher, the Lord of non-belief. If you can't prove it, no one can get ready for the dream. We all know what that means. He's lurking in the shadows and crushing on the dreams. Dream Crusher, the Lord of non-belief. If you can't prove it, no one can get ready for the dream. We all know what that means.
hello, everyone! It's Friday night. Woohoo! It's Skeptical Help Our Night. I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
Oh, Donna's here.
Hi.
Donna's here, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hello. There's a whole bunch of people in the chat room. I know. Let me look comments. Oh my goodness, we got Laura B. Well, oh, look at that right off the bat. 9 months membership. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Happy YouTube, baby. I got a YouTube, baby. I did not get the memo on this. What's going on here? I don't know what's going on. All right, so let me say hi to some people. We got, there's Shadow Cat. Look at their names, like Shadow. Somebody. I'm going to mute a mic.
You got members for 4 months?
Yeah, we got members. King in Yellow. Hello. Howdy do. Good to see you. We got Laura B. We got Wandering Wenchy. We got, I want to say Tanya. Because Last Rights member for 7 months. What? Got to join the fun. Happy YouTube premature baby. What am I not knowing here?
What's going on?
What am I missing? Let's see. We got Shadow Cat, Raw Side Paranormal. We got Abs. We got Lou's Reviews Plus. Kendra, Blast Rights, Cat Mac, it's date night. We got Kit Ford, we got Giselle L, we got Booberry. I love it. Let's see, going through Pinky. We got Shauna, we got Tom O'Shanter. That's cool. Richard is here. Joan is here. Bobana S, and I'm looking, just making sure I get everybody. Entity 7, Paranormal Joe Fatale, got to get his free plug in there for his entire team. We got, who else? You see, did I miss anyone? Usually pick out if I missed
Dragon
somebody.
Ranger.
Dragon Range. Okay, cool. Good.
Amy.
Amy's here. Good.
Diana's here.
Mysteries Untold by Michael Burkeen. Also getting your free plug-in. It's all good. I don't mind. Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna jump ahead. Let's jump right into
Jade Kitten.
Jade Kitten's here.
You
Always
didn't
here.
say Jade Kitten.
I just did.
I know, yeah, but she had to put it in the chat.
Because it wasn't on the list. I didn't see it. I was getting there. Let's go over the rules. Over here, this side, instead of this side. Muscle memory. I keep going that way. Rule number
you
one.
Changed it.
I stop pointing out my flaws. Rule number one is that I encourage you to ask questions. That's what this show is about. It's a learning show. We learn about stuff here. So please ask questions when you can. Number two is, remember, I don't know everything. And that actually came up in a lecture I did earlier this week. I did a presentation for the Rocky Mountain Atheists and talking about how I don't know everything and having to explain that a lot. So many times people were like, oh yeah, you don't know everything. But so I had this happen to me. How do you explain that? Explain it. And then, oh no. Rule number three is the Patrick Swayze rule. Be nice, or Donna boot your butt, just like it says right there. Just be nice. Be in the chat room. Be respectful. You can debate your point. You can talk about your point. You can make your point and go back and forth. That's cool. Just don't go into name calling. I've had way too much of that this week. No name calling, and just don't be nasty, because if you do, Donna will boot you out, and I'm not even going to try to get you back. Let's see. Hey, Malachi, member for 7 months. Always be nice. That's right. Rule number 4 is that if you do have a question tonight, please do us a favor, put a capital Q in front of it. That way it helps Donna pick it out from the rest of the conversation going on. And number 5 is my favorite rule. Let's drink up. Now I'm going to get to the guest of tonight's show. Switch over there, and I'm going to unmute her mic.
So Kat says that someone should tell Kenny how to look at the list of participants instead of scrolling through the chat. Where's that? Where's that at? Kat Mac, give us some info.
Where's the list of participants?
We got a member for 13 months.
People. No. Oh, wait. Oh, now I messed everything up.
What are you doing?
Hey, get forward. Thank you. We're going to talk about that later. I think somebody brought it up, and I was supposed to look it up, and I didn't.
Oh, well, that would be nice to know.
Let me let's get to our guest.
Thank you, Kip Ward.
We got special guest.
Hello.
Is in the house. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you? I'm good. I'm good.
Nice to see you.
It's been a week.
Oh yeah, it's been a week. So you are joining us on the show tonight because, well, you ask a lot of questions.
I do.
I don't mind. And unfortunately, I don't get to address them all during the shows because there are a lot of questions, and I want to make sure that I get to everybody. And I know that you usually have a lot of follow-up questions, and I just don't get a chance to spend as much time as would be proper to have a good discussion between us. So I was sitting after one of the shows, and I know that there were a couple questions left over that we didn't address that came from you. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see if she'll come on. You know, we'll just have 2 hours of just us chatting away, agreeing, disagreeing, whatever, and see where it leads us. So
you would think that with all the questions I asked that I wouldn't have social anxiety, but it took me a week to answer you back.
You know what? It takes a lot. I understand, because it's easier. And I don't want this to come off wrong. I don't want this to come off as like saying you're a keyboard warrior. That's not what I'm trying to get at. But it is much easier to
hide behind the screen.
And yeah, where nobody's looking at you directly. You don't have someone looking right at you and right in front of you. So there's less anxiety and less stress and less confrontation, I guess, in that. Yeah. So,
there is that. But it's funny because I'm more of a talk to a person thing than, believe it or not, than I am a writing person thing. And I'm an author. I mean, hello. But I still prefer when I'm talking to somebody to actually talk to them, because being an author, I know that there are times that you can read something and the way that it is read by the person reading it is not the intent that was behind it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. And I get it. I see. I mean, I deal with conversations because, I mean, social media is just the norm now. Like, that's part of our lives. So I'm constantly getting into discussions with people, and the positive part, I guess the part that is helpful when you're kind of hiding behind a screen is that you can take your time and really think about what you're going to say. And even with that,
we
still say the wrong shit.
Yes. And when you only have 200 characters in a chat, sometimes you use a word because that word is as close as you're going to get without making it 3 or 4 words that would make it clear. Because you just don't have the space to do it. Right.
And it's difficult because you want to add more to the comment, but you can't. You got to wait till the next comment. And then by that time, there's like, depending on how many people are in the chat, there's like 4 or 40 comments that are in between yours. And you're like, I'm not getting my point across. And I mean, I'm not, when I see other people's lives and I'm in it, I'm not always one to invite myself on unless that's the situation where I know I have more to say and I can't type it all. And I ask, can I come on real quick to just articulate my point, and then I'll get out. You know, I'll get out of your hair. So tonight, this is kind of like your show. You know, you can ask questions. You can. We don't have a plan for this. It's pretty much just let's see where the conversation leads us. And so you did mention that you had some questions that you wrote down. And if you want to just jump into one, and we can start discussing things. See how it is.
When you and I were setting this up, I told you I'm a very spiritual person. I have no clue where it came from. No, none. Like I told you, my mother was Baptist. My father was atheist. My grandmother was Catholic, and friends with Methodists. And I mean, the list went on and on. But I am half Cherokee. But as a child, a young child, I would go outside, and my grandmother and my mom and I were going for a walk. And I was touching the trees, and I would talk to the trees, and I would talk to the grass. I would go to a flower, and I would talk to the flower, and my grandmother was watching me. And she's like, oh my God. She's doing everything my father always did. Now, I'd never met my great-grandfather. His name, believe it or not, was Return Mann.
Oh, that's so cute.
And she said, I was like, everything I was doing was everything he did. I would go and the wind would blow, and I would go and I'd open my arms and I'd say, hug you back. You know, and she was like, where is she getting? She goes, you know, Betty, I never taught you any of this stuff. And my mom said, I don't know. She's always been that way. And I have 3 siblings. I have 2 older sisters and an older brother. And none of them do what I do or even think like I think. None of them.
Okay.
And I don't know where it's come from. I've never known. I just believe that everything is connected. The air, the earth, the water, the fire, everything, life is connected. Animals, plants, mountains, rocks, everything has spirit, everything. And I've always believed that. It's we don't live in a world that is separate from the spirits. In my world, you have the upper world, you have the lower world, you have the in-between world. The upper and lower is the domain of spirits, where they are, and the world we live in is the human world. But we are all still connected. We don't leave each other. I did not know at the time that was a Native American way of thinking.
That's very interesting. That's cool.
Okay.
And then we went on a trip to Oklahoma. I met a medicine man, and he looked at my mom and he said, had she been born within the tribe and grew up within the tribe, she'd have been a medicine woman. And it's funny because I didn't know this until much later in life, and my life was almost all in the medical field. And then, so I mean, I didn't know until my mother told me. Then when we moved to New Mexico, that's how I got together with the Navajo chief and Apache chief. I mean, we have a lot of Native American tribes around me where I lived, and I got to understand and listen to their belief system, and that I got a rare, I don't know if you want to call it a gift, because they do not discuss things like skinwalkers and elementals. They don't. But they did with me because, hello, I asked questions. And I was told the story. And I don't talk about this. I don't talk about any of this stuff with anybody ever. Mm-hmm. I've never spoken about it with my kids. I've never spoken about it even with my husband for the most part. I never spoke about it with any of my siblings. I just am me. And I don't expect anybody to be anything but who they are. But that being said, I'm also very open to hearing others' points of view.
Okay.
And I think because I'm open to that, is why, I think that sometimes that y'all think that when I ask a question, it's because I absolutely believe so much that I'm not listening to what you're saying. And my question has always been, but are you listening to what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
I know you want me to see your side, but do you ever try to see it from my side?
Okay.
Can you? I don't know. Maybe you can't see it from my side. So you had done a show, and I cannot remember who it was with. And I know I asked you a question, and I know it shocked you. And I said, it really shocked you. And I think it kind of hurt you because I don't think it was your intent. But you were talking about skinwalkers and you were talking about elementals, and you guys were laughing and making fun of the idea of it, I guess. I didn't quite know, because in all honesty, when you laugh at a belief that people have, it hurts.
Okay.
And you kind of shut down a bit. And that's why I said, why do you think that this is funny? And it wasn't meant to be a, how dare you? I was trying to understand how something in my belief system that is very real and something we really don't talk about. So I know that people really don't know anything about it unless you're Navajo. Yeah. You're not taught it, or you're taught the bare minimum. They don't teach you the whole tale. Unless you're taught it, why would you laugh at something that you don't understand? And that's why I asked that question. It wasn't because I was like, how dare you laugh at it? I took it as you were laughing about it. And in my belief system, they are not something to be laughed at. They're not something to be made fun of. They're something that in my belief system, they are very real. They do exist. You don't speak of them, or you invite them into your home.
Okay.
And I don't want it anywhere near me.
Right.
But we also don't look at them as demons, because I don't believe in demons. Believe it or not, I believe there's good, there's evil. I believe that there's angry. I believe there's sad. I believe there's joyful and there's happiness. I don't believe that there's demonic, personally.
Okay.
Now, if other people believe that there's demons, bless you. Good luck. Maybe I'm wrong. I can be wrong. I'm not. Like you. I don't have all the answers. I only have my answers. If that makes sense. So
yeah, I'm
that's
following
why,
you. Okay.
so that's why I say it's like in my, my belief system is very different because I call it, I'm spiritually eclectic is what I say, because I take so many pieces and parts, because my husband will tell you, we'll be driving past a cemetery. I do the sign of the cross and say amen and a prayer. Okay.
Right.
If I have something bad going on in my life, I will ask people, please say prayers, because I believe in the power of prayer. Now, the power of prayer is on all ends, whether it is religious or it is spiritual. It is on all ends, prayer. And I believe prayer is extremely powerful. So it's just, like I say, I respect everybody's beliefs. Believe what you want. Believe how you. I just don't agree with how people go about. I'm going to say, no offense, but you guys have equipment me to death. I'm so sick of hearing about equipment. And that's all anybody talks about with investigations is the equipment they use. We get it. We get it. I personally don't care if they use equipment. I do have pieces of equipment that I cannot stand. But maybe not for the reasons that you've pointed out, which, believe it or not, the reason you pointed out finally made sense to me as to why before you ever put out a video on the DR60, I couldn't stand it. But it had nothing to do with, it had to do with the fact that I couldn't even understand the question that the person asked, let alone whatever that garbled crap was that was a response. Couldn't understand it at all. Now, I didn't know why it sounded like it did until you put out your video. It's like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. I can't stand the SLS. I never could stand a stain can be on a carpet and it picks it up. It's like, you want me to expect to believe that that's a spirit sitting there, because they have nothing better to do. Okay. I don't think that I believe in as much of the paranormal stuff I see on YouTube as y'all think I do, because of the questions I ask. That is not to say I don't believe in the paranormal, because I told you in my thing, I 100% believe in paranormal. I do. I believe in the spirit. I 100% do. I just have I just choose, if they use the DR60, fine, use your DR60. I'm just not going to pay attention to that. I'm going to pay attention to, do you go towards the sound that's made? What else could that be? But I ask as a viewer, I deem myself as the investigator, not them. So it frustrates me if they don't go towards the sound, because how am I supposed to determine what that sound was if you don't even go near it to tell me if there's somebody outside?
Okay. All right. So before you go on, let's address some of these things, because I've been looking down. I'm looking down on my notebook because I've been taking notes, so I can address a lot of these things. And let's. Is that your husband laughing?
He's laughing because Kenny took notes.
No, he's laughing because he asked questions too. So it's like, yeah.
So I definitely get people that are spiritual people, that they sometimes there's different kinds of beliefs. I understand that, and I've delved into different religions. I get how people have different backgrounds and different beliefs that they follow, and some are more nature driven, where spiritual to them is just thinking, or believing that everything is connected. And I can concede on a point that when you really think about it, even in a scientific approach here, is that we're all on a living spaceship. The Earth is a living spaceship. It's a big rock that is organic and rocky, and we go through space, and we're all on this. Okay, so is everything connected? Pretty much. I don't think every single thing is connected to every single thing, because if that was the case, then we'd have a problem once one species went extinct. There would be a problem, because now you have a missing piece of the puzzle. And we know throughout history that there's a lot of species that went extinct. So that would be a problem. But I do think there's a lot of connections. Like if we didn't have vegetation and shrubbery, sorry, I can't say shrubbery without referencing Monty Python. If we don't have that, we would not have oxygen. We wouldn't be breathing. If we didn't have water, we wouldn't have food growing with the vegetation. If we didn't have sunlight, we wouldn't have food and we wouldn't be alive. There'd be nothing here. So yes, things are definitely connected. So I agree on that. And I also agree that we need to take care of the environment. It is a living planet. You know, all the trees are alive. The grass is alive. These things are alive, not in the same sense that we are alive, but they're still alive. So I agree on that. Let's see, the upper and in between and lower, I guess, planes of existence, I think that might be what you would kind of be referring to. Is I understand that concept. I don't personally believe in it. I was raised Catholic, so I have that heaven, earth, and then hell kind of thing, where, you know, you have the spirits that are in heaven that are supposed to be good. Then you have us that are on the planet, or purgatory, which is a sidestep somewhere that came later. That was an add-on. And then you have hell, where all the other bad people go.
And for me, it is you have good, you have evil, and you have the human life. So it's not heaven and it's not hell. It's just good and evil.
Okay. I guess I would view that as different names for the same thing. Okay. So, and then I got just a side point here. I think Native Americans have the coolest freaking names, like ever.
Yeah,
I mean,
I swear
I would, you know, when you said your father or grandfather,
my great grandfather, Pleasant Return Mann.
Pleasant Return Mann. That is so much better than Jim. Like, or Bob.
You're right.
Damn it, Bob's in the house. You know, like I think that's so much better. It's so much cooler. But again, that was a side note. I just wanted to throw that in there because as soon as you said that, and like you wrote that in an email, and I was like, that is so cool. That is such a cool Pleasant Return Mann. Like, that's awesome. They put thought into that. It wasn't like, 20 most popular baby names. Oh, Dave, Joe, Tim. Anyway, and this is most important, I guess, is the point you were bringing up about making or talking about your approach, and am I listening to you? And I don't know if you were actually directing it directly at me or in general, but that's always a problem. It's hard to get the other person's perception, to understand the other person's perception. I make it a point to try to understand, and I will use a caveat here and say it's much more difficult when this conversation is happening with me talking and you can only reply in text. So it's very difficult in that kind of situation because I don't get the sense. And we were talking about it earlier, or I don't know if we were talking about it before the show or during the show, but you can't get context in texting. You can't get the right context all the time. So
and I think when she was talking, like even some of like your comments or your question, like when you said, "Why are you laughing?" or something, that could be taken totally a different way as well, because we don't know by the time your comment comes up, I don't know what that was referred to. You know, so it's hard with the chat as well.
And then there's a delay. There's always like a 10-second delay here. So even if they're talking about us, I don't know what they're laughing at, but they could also be talking about something else in the chat and we're not paying attention. So getting to the point, like I try to understand.
Ask questions now. Ask questions.
I try to get to everyone's approach to understand where you're coming from. And when we have a conversation, it's much easier to do that when we're actually having a conversation. When it comes to the Skinwalker incident, so I don't recall the whole conversation. I know we've talked about it. I don't know what we were laughing at. And what I can say is that in reference to that particular topic, I most likely was angry or talking about the people that were promoting the idea. And it wasn't Native Americans. It was the people from Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, the TV show.
Right.
So, which are not Native Americans,
Right.
as far as I know, especially the one guy. Well, most of the guys, they're all white guys that are.
You'd be surprised at who has it closest to the
Right.
belief of the Skinwalker. Everybody in the chat, and you guys would be shocked to know who's closest when it comes to talking about Skinwalkers, because you all detest them.
So I guess my point is that I'm
twin
not
paranormal.
Well, oh, jeez.
I know, but I'm telling you.
Okay.
But I'm honestly, I said they come the closest. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying that
Okay.
they have everything 100%. I'm saying that the things that they talk about and how they say, when they talk about the owl, they talk about the coyote, they talk about those things, that is very much in the Navajo teaching.
Okay.
Very much so. And so when they talk about that, like I said, I'm not talking about how they go about doing their investigation. I'm just saying that what they're talking about when they speak of of them, that is actually pretty on point. And the reason for their existence, they also got pretty much correct. It's, I say pretty much, because they are a little bit off, because normally, because they said it's because of the bad that was done to them that these were created, and that's not true. That's not what they're about. It's because of the bad they did to people, and it's almost like a curse.
So the part I really want to discuss is the laughing part, and I'm going to say that again, I don't recall the conversation, so I don't know exactly what we were joking about, and I don't know how to say this without sounding mean, but like we all laugh at something. We all laugh at other people. And when it comes to beliefs, sometimes we're joking about it and not being too serious. And again, like if we're talking about the topic of skinwalkers, I was talking about Skinwalker Ranch actors, the people that are on the show, which I probably was making more fun of their methods, but I'm not going to say for sure because I don't remember. Again, I don't remember the conversation.
Yeah, and like I said, I can't remember who she was that you were speaking with, but you guys started making a lot of, and it was like, wait a minute, whoa.
And the jokes
they are not something to be laughed at. In my world, we don't.
So I guess maybe that's part of this issue then, because from your perspective, yes. You don't talk about them, and you made that clear. You don't talk about them at all because it might invoke something. It might invoke them or something like that, where you don't talk about them. You don't bring it up. I don't share that belief. I don't share the belief that they exist and that anything bad will come from it. So if I'm talking about it and I'm poking fun at the legend or the idea of it or the belief, it's not necessarily your belief. It is the generalized and probably, I hope I don't get in trouble for saying it, whitewashed version of the legend that I'm joking at, because it doesn't hold the same, how do I say this, like what I see from, again, mostly white people that are trying to get the legend to be something spooky and demonic so that they can include it into their narrative and make it sellable and clickable. I don't see that as something real. And therefore it's not real to me. And it is kind of, for lack of a better word, I find it a little funny when they react to it. And I think that's more what I'm joking about, is that their reaction to something that I don't think exists because they've created their own version of it. I think the whole thing is kind of silly. Now, when it comes to us talking about genuine beliefs, I'm going to be more respectful to you because I want to listen to you. I want to hear what you're saying to me and explain it to me. I don't have to believe it, but I'm also not going to make fun of it to you and how it is to you. But if I'm talking about it in a general sense, that's a different version and a filtered version, I'm probably going to make fun of it. And
you're saying you can't really take it personally.
I'm not taking it personally. And even when people crack jokes at my expense, I don't take it personally, because I know this is, and this is probably where the difference is. I don't have any beliefs. Like, I don't hold any kind of religious or spiritual beliefs. I have ideas, but I also know that people don't like what I have to say sometimes. Go ahead.
It is very hard for people to, I want to say, hurt my feelings, I guess is the best way. It really is. That day that hurt. And it was just because it just felt like it was something that it stopped being talked. The idea of talking about spirit walkers, and what they are to people, and it just seemed to stop, and it all became a joke. And I'm like, wait a minute, it wasn't supposed to be. But that's one instance. And like I said, you don't offend me when you ask. My best friends have always been the most blunt people that you would ever meet. Okay. Right. If I looked and I said, what do you think of this dress? My best friend, she would have no qualms in the world look at me and saying, honey, that makes you look fat. Get it off. Go get something else. Or that color is so not you. Nope. You're walking green bean.
That's good.
I like direct. Okay. Right. I told you I'm a military brat. Okay. I was raised in the East Coast where blunt is the thing. But then I was, for the first 16 years of my life, I mean, we're talking, I went to Germany, and then I was in New York, then Pennsylvania. Then I got moved into New Mexico. Now I'm in Canada, where everybody's so nice. That frustrates me more than anything.
Let me ask you
get
something.
My damn to-go order right.
I'm thinking about this. I'm reading the comments and stuff. And like, generally, I don't like making fun of people's personal beliefs. And because I try not to. I mean, I know we all do. Comedians do it for a living, right? But I'm not trying to make it personal. But let me ask you this: so if you have your definition of what do you feel comfortable talking about skinwalkers?
Not really, but I do.
Okay.
I'm doing it for you.
Aww.
I'm like, I have a mister, and I'm squeezing the heck out of it. I can hear my Navajo chief. All
right, I'm going to ask you one question, and we'll move on to something else.
Okay.
The what you know about them from your teachings, from your family and ancestors teaching you, is it what we hear from that TV show Skinwalker Ranch?
I've never seen Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh, that's good.
I wouldn't.
No, don't watch it.
I hate that show.
I would say I wouldn't watch it, because to me it's like, unless you're Navajo, you have no clue, or you've been taught by a Navajo chieftain, you have no clue. Yes, it does, Pat. It does. They're too damn nice. Get my order right. It ain't hard. Yeah.
Because I think there's room for, I don't know how to say it, but I think it goes back to if a TV show is promoting an idea, if they're promoting a belief, how do I say it? If they're promoting their version of a belief that doesn't match up with like your version of belief, where the belief came from,
right?
I don't see their belief as being real.
It's not legit. It's not.
Yeah, it's not legit.
And that's true.
So
it's not. It can't be.
And I think really what it comes down to is that like, when it comes to the TV show, I don't want to say it in front of you now, because I don't want you to get upset.
I'm not getting upset.
When it comes to that TV show and we're talking about it, because that's usually when it comes up. Or if a YouTube channel brings it up and they're blaming everything on that. Like, I'm making more fun of the ideas that they're bringing to the table and their methodology and the things that you love so much, the equipment that they're using to prove that it exists.
I didn't say that. Okay, but here's the question for you. We have no clue what makes up a spirit. We don't know. Does it have DNA? Does it not have DNA? Does it have What does it consist of? We have no clue. So my question has always been, how do you know? How do you know definitively that none of this equipment works? Now, understand, I am not saying that the equipment works, but I'm not saying it doesn't either. I think, honest to God, I've said this before in many lives. Adelaide Haunted Horizons is actually one of my absolute favorite investigative teams. Okay, they are. Allison has been investigating for well over 40 years. She was doing it before equipment was really brought into doing investigations. She didn't start off doing it for YouTube. It just kind of, YouTube came to them, not them going to YouTube, I guess you could say. But the point of the fact is, she said, all equipment tells us is that something in the environment has changed. It is up to us as the investigator to figure out what changed in the environment and why it changed. Does that mean it's paranormal? Absolutely not. But we don't know unless we actually try and figure out, why did the temperature go down? Is there a draft coming through the window? Did I leave a door open? What was the reason? Allison from Adelaide Haunted Horizons said this, that has stuck to me. It is one of the best things that was ever said on YouTube that I've seen. Because the difference is, does a team run their investigation from the equipment, or do they use the equipment to point them in a direction? Not lead them, not the reason that I know you all hate them, but the reason I like Twin Paranormal, Sam McColby, they do what I do. They're fake as hell, but they tell a story.
Wait, you cannot say they do what you do and then say they're fake as hell.
Well, yeah, I write paranormal. I write male paranormal romance. There ain't a dang word that I write that people don't know is fantasy. Okay. When they read mine, they know vampires ain't going to go sucking on their necks. They know this, okay? So what I'm saying is, I can tell a story, okay? I really am known in my community for what I do.
Okay.
But they tell a hell of a story. They use that equipment.
That's up for debate.
They don't investigate worth a hell, but they do tell. They let that equipment tell the story, And I mean, they sometimes have to twist that pretzel into a really, really weird shaped pretzel, but they will tell a story. And when they get a story going, they don't stop. Now, I don't know if they pre-plan the story, if they let the equipment decide what the story is going to be, but they really do tell a story, and they're very helpful for me to unlock ideas in my head. So I watch them so that, and they're also what I call brainless TV, which means it doesn't require a brain to watch them. So if I'm having a really bad day and I don't want to have to think too much, I'll put them on. And it helps me with my writing, and I get to go in my fantasy world for a while. They're like an audio book, I guess you say, for me. But when I want to really look into it, I'm going to watch Joe Vitale. I enjoy Joe. Joe calls himself lame and boring. I don't know if he's still here now. I love Joe Vitale because he's one of the most real investigators there is. He hears something, he doesn't yell paranormal. He doesn't yell ghost. He looks into it. He goes towards it. Him and Dawn, they work very well together. If they have something that they think is kind of hinky, they'll talk it out. Right. I really enjoy Joe.
So I'm not going to agree with you on anything about Twin Paranormal.
That's fine. Like I said, I know y'all hate Twin Paranormal, but I do watch them, and I watch them for my reason.
I want to go through some of these points. I'm gonna back up just one and say about prayer. I know a lot of people do believe in the power of prayer. I do not. I equate it to casting spells or chanting or something like that. It's more for I find it to be more for the person that's doing it, more of a personal relief than anything else. When it comes to equipment, okay, so yeah, lots of people still do it. Lots of people still use it. That's why we continually address it. And I know it gets redundant.
You continuously address it.
It's repetitive and it comes up constantly. But
I would just love to see you guys address the investigation. Just address the investigation. No, I'm saying,
yeah,
take out the equipment. What are they doing wrong? Is there a reason that you talk about scientific, that you would rather they do things scientifically? Here's the problem you have with that. There's not many of us out there that are scientific. There really isn't. Even the people that believe in science aren't going to know how to do an investigation to where it's scientific, because their idea of what scientific could be completely different. Where I was watching one of your videos not long ago, and you said, if you get this, take it to a scientist, take it to an outside source, have them look at it, have them see what it was. And I said, well, when you work for the Skeptical Inquiry, it's kind of easy considering you do have scientists there. You do have psychologists there. You do have these people you can go to. The regular average Joe, they don't have that. So why not make a template of what a scientific investigation would look like?
Okay.
And I'm not saying everybody. I'm not saying everybody would follow it, but just make one.
Okay,
tell us, because I don't get what a scientific investigation is.
So, scientific investigation would be following protocols. The first thing you have to do is find out what the claims are. What are the claims? What's being said happens in the location that is considered unnatural or above and beyond what we can explain. You have to isolate those first. Then you have to do some research, see if there's any logical explanations that are already out there. And then go to the scene. Sometimes you don't have to always, but sometimes you have to go to the scene if it's in a location. If it's a photograph, it's something different. We can look at the photograph, but you have to understand the equipment being used and the location where it is, what the claim is, what people are claiming, what the environment was at the time, and then go from there. So when you're consulting a scientist or an expert or a third-party expert, it's in that relevant field. I wouldn't go to a biologist with a photograph and say, here, tell me about this. I wouldn't take a substance that I find on the floor, like a liquid substance. I wouldn't take it to a carpet cleaner, because I want to go to a chemist instead. You find the relevant expert and say, look, this is where I found it. Can you analyze this? Tell me what it is, or tell me what you find out. And that's where you get information from. So, and when it comes to experts and scientists, no, I don't have them here. I want to make that clear. I don't have them here in this building. I have to go out and seek them out. So there are people out there. If you start looking or searching for papers or scientists or labs in your area, you can usually find different scientists. Look on social media, or LinkedIn. That's where I use a lot. Look on LinkedIn for experts in various fields and then reach out to them. Sometimes they'll help you. Sometimes they're interested. Many times they're going to say no or not respond at all, but you keep trying. I still do that. Like I have a list of people that I contact for me. I'm not going to give their number out to everyone, because then, then they're going to hate me for giving their number out. But,
right.
But I do have people that I can reach out to, and that's trial and error. That's been reaching out to people over the years and finally finding someone that said, hey, yeah, I'll take a look for you after so many no's. I want to address real quick. I don't know the friend that you talked about, the paranormal investigator, ghost hunter that you talked about, that has so many years, 40 years or something in this.
Allison from Adelaide Haunted Horizons.
I don't know who she is. This comment is not directed towards her, but I always fact check people, because I've had so many people come to me and say, I've done this for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And you have to make sure that they're doing it right, or at least hold on.
I don't.
The scientific method, because if they're doing it wrong for 20, 30, 40 years, then they've been doing it wrong for that long.
Right.
So,
I don't know if you've seen the ones, because they've investigated with Seg, and they've investigated with Beardo.
Okay.
It's the two ladies that are known for singing.
Oh, okay. I know of them. Yes.
Yeah, I remember for a month.
Oh, Dragon Ranger. Thank you for a member. In the field, though, you are not going to be able to control environment. This is part of the problem. So, yeah, you can't get a controlled environment, but that's not always the fault of the environment, because this goes to another point that I wanted to address with you. It's when you're using the equipment or whatever equipment, yes, it is. Some of the equipment is designed to measure the environment. So if there's an environmental change, you want to know what caused that change. But this is why I stress so much that there needs to be controls, experimental controls over what you're doing. If somebody puts a REM pod out in the middle of a room, that is not a controlled environment. So when it goes off, nobody has any freaking clue why it did. And they never will, because there's no controls to tune out. Like when we talk about using a Faraday box, that blocks radio frequencies. So we know that somebody's not using a two-way radio to make that go off. That's a simple control that everyone can use. Every single ghost hunter team can use that, but you don't. I've seen one group, or not even a group, one investigator use it, and that was freaking Joe Vitale. That's the only
say it that way.
I know, freaking Joe Vitale.
Like, why did you say it that way? It's
because he's the only. Well, no, because I pick on him.
Oh, okay.
I love him. No, but he's the only one I've ever seen use a Faraday bag for a radio. But if they're using any type of equipment, from thermometers to the EMF meters to whatever other gadgets they want to buy that's overpriced from a ghost hunting store, like, you still need controls to make sure to cut down on all the variables so that you know.
Okay, but here's the thing, is that these locations, from what I'm hearing, and I'm not talking about Elton, because I'm going to tell you what, I could go that man, I've done such a deep dive in that man. I plan on writing him into my book, one of my books, and killing him off. I'm telling that man, I can't stand it. Elton Castee, the one of them that bought the Warren house.
Don't say that.
I've never in my life seen such a manipulator as he is. I've heard debunkers talk about how they, don't want like people taking advantage of people. Blah, blah, blah. This man took it to a different level. And I've watched it in his lives. The occult life was in one of the lives. I went to another live. Nobody was there. I got Laura from Raw Side Paranormal to come and watch what I was watching, just to make sure I wasn't losing my dang mind. This man is unbelievably manipulative. He will make it to where the chat creates the narrative for his haunted house. Right. Where you all are wrong is you keep saying the house was never reportedly haunted. They're not going with that line. They're not going with this house has always been haunted. What he's saying is Lorraine and Ed Warren died. Evil started to come into the home from the museum. Then Ed and Lorraine Warren have come back from, into the spirit realm, into the home to fight the evil. And let me tell you, Elton will say he didn't say that. He's right. But he manipulated the chat for them to say it.
See, so that would have been...
the house has ever been haunted. He's saying it is now.
That would have been a better story than the last Conjuring movie. To see like Force Ghosts, Ed and Lorraine come back as Force ghosts, holding back the evil from the museum.
But that's one of the biggest problems is that when people, and I know you guys have. Okay, look, my life is writing my books when I want, how I want, as fast as I want. Taking care of my husband who has seizures and my father-in-law who is on his way to the spirit world soon. And I'm not saying that lightly. He just really is.
I'm sorry to hear.
But the thing of it is that I have a lot of time, and my time is normally spent watching different paranormal things. And as I don't know if you know this, but I go to a lot of lives because you learn more at lives. But I'm not really listening to them. I'm reading the chat and what they're saying, and then I'm listening to them. I've gone to Paranormal Nightmare lives. The things that these people say in that chat, I'm just debunkers have it. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say they have it wrong on how they're doing. They're trying to get through to people because they're doing it wrong. And if anybody can't figure that out, I don't know who else can tell you that. The reason I'm saying this is because, and I'm talking from a believer's point of view, it is not the paranormal these people believe in. It is the team that they're watching. It is the people. So when you attack the people, you're attacking them, and they stop listening to you. That's why I say focus on the investigation and what's being said. Quit focusing on the fact that it's 3 guys, 1 short redhead, and 2 multi-tattooed dudes. Focus on what they're saying, what they're doing, what they're not doing. There was one debunk done, and I can't remember if it was Seg who did it or Beardo. I don't remember who it was. They focused on the fact that they didn't get up and go towards the sound. They're hearing the sound. Why are they not going to the sound?
Right.
They weren't attacking them. They were attacking the method. And in the chat, in the comment section, I was seeing people that I normally see in their stuff saying to them, how come you didn't go towards the sound? We really wish you would go towards the sound. Guess what? 2 videos later, they were running towards the sound. Now, did they find anything? Absolutely not. They weren't gonna. But the point is, they were paying attention because it was the investigation that was being debunked, not them. It was how they were doing it. And that's the thing. When you attack the people feel like they're being attacked, which is why you get death threats and why you get people screaming and yelling at you. But the reverse thing here is just to let you know, they get them too. Because I have seen people in the chats that Beardo and Sig and those and other lives have had in them where they have gone into these people and have been completely disrespectful and rude. So it has been kind of not near as much apparently as you guys, but in all honesty, I'll be honest, I had no idea the level that people were going in your all's comments until Beardo was talking about something, and I finally went into it and I was reading some of the comments of this one that he was saying, and I went, oh, wow. I said, Beard, I swear to God, I've never read your comments. I don't read y'all's comments. I figure those are for you. And that's kind of like, you don't read other people's mail.
Well,
so
I mean,
never read
the comments section is for everybody. And when it gets in there, like, yeah, you're part of the conversation. And I kind of agree with you on not attacking the people. I try not to attack the people when I do my attack, like personal. I don't do personal attacks, except for Zach Baggins because he doesn't count. But I try to focus on the investigative techniques, the equipment used, the claims that are being made, and what is presented as evidence, because I think that's the important part. And
I really, yeah, you do. And I'm going to say, I really think that out of the debunkers, and I'm not saying this for brownie points from anybody, I'm just saying, I think Seg does it better. He doesn't typically attack. I don't know if he's here or not, but I'm just telling you.
Here he is.
Is he? I don't know if he's here or not. I'm just saying,
now.
honestly, and I'm not saying that because he's my favorite debunker. I'm saying it because it's true. He makes things, and I know he gets hell from the fans of the teams he goes and does, but that's because they don't watch the video. They just see that a team they love and a debunker has them, and they've got to say, screw you. But if they actually watch the video, which I've actually gotten people that have done this to actually watch the video, and I've actually seen their names appear in his chats in his lives now, because I told him, I said, he does things rhetorically. He's trying to show you where things are, you know, in his opinion. You don't have to agree with him. Hell, I barely agree with any of them. Well, that's not true. I do believe in a lot of it. There's just a lot of things that it just, I don't think that the word fake has been thrown out there so much that it has gotten to the point that it caused a boiling point. And I kept warning, I kept putting it in lives. People, you need to quit calling things fake when you don't have the proof. If I have to prove to you paranormal exists, you have to prove to me how that is not paranormal. And if you can't prove to me that, then that doesn't make me fake. It just makes me wrong.
I agree that I don't call things fake unless I am absolutely sure. And that means like I have to be there and see it. I have to see them actually fabricate some kind of evidence in order to call it fake, because all I can do is when I recreate things and show you that, yes, it can be done under the same conditions, then there's doubt there. I can show you doubt, and that it can be done, and that the people presenting the evidence or presenting the data as evidence, they need to do better. They need to show more behind the scenes, or collect more data, or have more controls on it in order to make it better. Because now we showed, hey, we can do this, same place, same conditions, same time, same situation. So you need to do better. And then another point is that I kind of I do disagree that I know, it's my show.
Yeah.
I disagree.
You're not going to hurt my feelings by disagreeing with me, is what I'm saying.
If someone has repeatedly shown, I love hearing his laugh. If someone has repeatedly showed or demonstrated that they don't do their proper research, or they have outright lied to their audience, then absolutely. Hey, you know what? If people want to call them an idiot, they deserve it. I don't hesitate, as long as it's shown that they have lied repeatedly and have twisted the truth, or especially like I know Side Eye Guy did one where he found that one of the YouTubers went to a house and claimed that it was somebody's
bed
house.
And breakfast.
Yeah, and it was a bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
Like that's an outright deception. And for that, yes, the guy is an asshole.
But I think that it's because of Seg that he no longer does paranormal investigations. He does top fives now. Because you're talking Mind CTV.
Well,
I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm just saying, it's just, I really think so, because he doesn't do it anymore. I think, Laura Rawside Paranormal, she introduced us to a team called APRF. God, please correct me if I'm wrong, Laura. I think APRF, they try and do scientific stuff. They actually explained why sounds can come and come from above to down below, to where I actually understood it. They speak more in layman's terms than most do. And that's the thing, is that it's just, I don't know, to me, I'll just got to remember, we're not all scientific. Some people, there's different kind of investigators out there. You have your fake as heck. Well, oh my God, I cannot watch an Omar or a Yasko, or I cannot watch them at all. And you have, really, Mackie and Amanda make me, every time they want to go at Seg about it, I beg him not to do them. You know what? Just do a whole video of somebody running their fingernails down a chalkboard, and that will do me, besides doing a Mackie and Amanda. But I watch him because he does them, but the point is I don't want to. And then you have those that are real, true. They believe so hard in it that anything and everything around them is paranormal. No, that's not dripping water making that sound. That's a paranormal footstep. You have those. They're not trying to fake it. They're just, they're not even trying to find out, is it really a footstep or is it water dripping? Because in their eyes, they have just experienced the paranormal, and that's what their life is. They're different. They're not fake. They truly are just what I call over believers. You have those?
I disagree. I think if you continually do this time after time, and you don't grow, you don't evolve, you don't try to figure out what's actually going on, yet you're promoting a belief anyway. I think that's
they're even trying to promote a belief. I think they're just, you know what, we're here doing this anyway. I just paid $1,200 to come to this place. I maybe I can get some of my money back. I don't know. To me, I don't know. I just don't look at them as fake. I don't look at them as fake. They are over believers. They're not willing to look past to see, is it water dripping? Because that really sounds like a water drip, not a footstep.
They're not looking for the truth. They don't want to go look. They're looking for a story.
They personally don't want the truth. So they just don't want the truth.
They don't want the truth. They want the clicks and views.
Because that'll. I don't always believe that. I don't. I think that they're just over believers. And then you have those, believe it or not, what are they called now? Project Fear. Believe it or not, when those kids, when they started, I called kids. Okay, I'm almost 60, so to me, they're kids.
Still kids.
Yeah, well, they are. They are. Mentally, yes. But when they started out, people think that they faked from the get-go. They never, no, they did not. They did not. If you watch some of the ones from when Dakota was like 15, 16 years old, you will see they were not faking. And they did an entire, I don't remember how old they were when it was Dakota, Chelsea, Tanner, and a friend of theirs. It wasn't Alex. It was another person altogether. They did the Trail of Terror or something. The Trail of Fear or the Trail of Terror. That was so well done. And they were young. And they went into places, and he told you that what he was doing was he wasn't specifically looking for paranormal. What he was looking for was, if you put yourself in fear, how does it change you physically? Do you hear differently? Do you see differently? Do you process things in your brain differently? That's what he started off doing. That was his whole concept. That's why he would stay overnight in a location and sleep overnight, where they would go all in separate areas. Because the whole idea was create as much fear in me as you can, so that I can say, I saw this, I heard this, did this happen, did this not happen? Those kind of things. That's how they started. And that's one of the things I've seen, which is kind of sad, is that they start off with a good intention, with a good idea. And then, like you say, as they get more popular and Destination Fear came around and Project Fear, they changed. But their idea, the idea that they had, was actually a very good one when they first started out. It was a very good idea.
The idea was something for entertainment, but I don't take it as anything.
They didn't do it for entertainment. Yeah. They weren't even doing it for a documentary. They were filming it for themselves. There was a film that was found, and they talked about it, and they said, we can make this into a small little series. Matter of fact, it's very hard to find it. It took me forever to find the series. I think they now finally, and that's because people were pissed that they took out Destination Fear. I think they might have put it on what is that thing called, Discovery Plus? They might have put it on there now.
I don't.
But
all right, so we gotta take a break.
Go ahead.
We're over our hour, so we're gonna take a break, and we are gonna come back. We'll do some questions, because I know we have some questions from the audience, so we can go through some of those. All right, so let me see. There it is. We will see you back here in 4 minutes and 9 seconds from now.
And now for something completely different.
Welcome, my fellow skeptics. Welcome, one and all. I am the chief investigator. Oh, come along, old chap. We will have a ball. Now, if you will excuse me, it's time to open the mic. Good night. Good night. Kenny Biddle today investigates my game, and I will have at it. Quid pro quo. As the head of this committee, hunting for ghosts. figures out there, too many chefs, too many toe tappers, none of it makes any sense. I am a skeptic through and through, I question everything, don't you? Let's open the bar and ask some questions, alright. Maybe you might find an answer or two. Who knows? There may be ghosts in the machine, but trust me, I am not so keen. I prefer to see these things clearly, not in 144 Cree. I am a skeptic through and through, I question everything, don't you? If you don't think I am right, let's open night night, yeah, yeah. I am a skeptic through and through, I question everything, don't you? If you don't think I am right, let's open mic night. Yeah. If you have an answer or two, let Kenny Biddle solve it for you. Let Kenny Biddle solve it for you. The one and only Kenny Biddle. Kenny Biddle. Kenny Biddle. Kenny Biddle.
Say. All right. So before we get back into some of the questions, I just want to say something real quick. All right. To everyone in the chat. I'm going to stay calm here. Pay attention to the rules that I read out in the beginning of the show. Talk about not name calling. If you're going to name call, if I see it one more time, you're gone. Okay? I don't give a fuck who you are. Do not engage in that. I don't care if you've had a couple drinks. I don't care if you're being serious. I don't tolerate that here. If there's any name calling, it's going to be me doing it. You're going to do it in my chat and start talking shit? Out. Okay.
All right.
Angry Kenny is now gone. I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see. Hi, Cree.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm all right.
All right. So, with
You have your
that,
tea?
I have my tea here. Yes.
He needs to drink a little bit more.
You know, there's when you're in this kind of this circle, when you engage in this community, you're talking with people from all different backgrounds, all different approaches, all different beliefs. Not one person believes exactly the same as you. Not
even
one.
in the same religion, do they? No.
You can be 99.9% on the same side of things, but there's always going to be something you differ on. And that's it. If we're talking, we're having a conversation.
Absolutely.
You might say things that I don't like, and we can talk about it. We've disagreed on some things already, which is fine. We're allowed to disagree. I'm not, you have your personal beliefs. I'm not trying to change you. I have my
belief in agreeing to disagree. It's okay to agree to disagree.
I have my ideas, and you know,
and anything I say is and that's why I've been very particular. It's my belief. I am not telling anybody else how to believe. You believe how you want to. This is mine. And you have yours. I'm always very interested in yours because you're so polar opposite of mine. I never come across anybody kind of like you. You know,
I want to have conversations. That's what that's what part of this is. Like, this is a learning show, but everything that I do is about having conversations with people to understand where they're coming from. And I'm not going to tolerate someone or anyone in the chat or in any conversation that I'm part of start berating or making fun of or directly like trying to insult someone, either me or the person I'm talking to. It's bullshit. It's straight up bullshit, and you should be ashamed of yourself for doing so. And you can see yourself out. That's it. Or Donna will boot your ass out.
Hey, the Phillies won.
You're breaking my stride here. I'm on a roll.
My mom was a Mets fan.
We are on time constraints tonight.
Killjoy.
Go Phillies.
I did have one.
Donna has a knack.
I was curious about.
I can go off on something. Something can piss me off, and I will be in the middle of a like screaming at the top of my lungs tirade rant, whatever, and she will say something that's completely out of context, and I'm like, what? I don't know how to respond to that.
That's what she doesn't get. That's what she doesn't get paid for.
Right.
That's her job that she doesn't get paid for.
You're right. I'm just, you should get a raise.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, but
so we got
multiply anything by 0 and it still comes back 0. Just say it.
All right. Whew. Okay. Now that hopefully that's over.
Do you want to start with some questions?
We have some questions. Let's get to them because I think that's going to take up the rest. We have to be done by 10 o'clock our time, which is 42 minutes from now, because Donna has to watch a game and she also has to get up early in the morning and go. So, all right, let's get to some questions and we can discuss our different opinions of them. Pam Spencer says, Cree, if it's okay to ask, and please say if it's out of line, do you believe in happy hunting grounds?
I do. I believe that a warrior he's used to hunt, a hunter that's used to going out and hunting, that when they pass in the spirit world, they still continue to hunt, and it's unlimited. Why not? That doesn't, I'm not there, but I mean, sure, the idea is nice.
So I'm not familiar. I'm familiar with the term. I've heard it, but what does that? Is that the afterlife?
Yes, in the afterlife, when a hunter passes, they have unlimited ability to go and hunt the animals that are also in the spirit world, and that it never ends. It's a never-ending hunting ground.
Wow.
Oh, my dad would love that.
Yeah, your father would be. That's his heaven.
Yeah, he loves to hunt.
Her father loves hunting and just loves to get out there and just hunt. Horror. Thank you so much for the $4.99. I appreciate that. That's awesome. I would just have, well, I mean, I'm actually in my afterlife now because I have an unlimited supply of mysteries to investigate. So I'm happy. I told my employer, you're going to take my dead body out of this office because this is where I'm going to die, right here. That's it. So, all right.
It's always nice doing what you love because you don't go to work.
Yeah,
that's right.
Nice. I love it here. All right, that was a good question. That was a decent one. All right, Pam Spencer, Cree, is there any way to talk about cultural things without stirring up those feelings?
Sure. I mean, I could have looked at Kenny at any point in time and said, I'm not comfortable discussing, the skinwalker thing. I'm not. I could have. I chose not to. I mean, to me, the burden is on both of you. It's not just on the person out. I'd rather you ask me a question than to make an assumption about something. Just ask the question. If it's a sensitive question, I can look at you and I can say it's a sensitive question. If somebody gets upset because you asked a question that's sensitive, to me, that's crap. I mean, no offense to anybody, but you should be allowed to ask a question, especially if you don't understand. I mean, like I told Kenny, my husband is Jehovah's Witness. I do not believe in just about everything that they believe in. Okay. But it's his belief. I respect his belief. I respect the fact that he's allowed to believe however he wants to believe and whatever he wants to believe. He respects the fact that when spring hits, I'm going outside, standing barefoot in the grass and saying a prayer, because I do. When the snow comes, I'm going to go out there again, bare feet and all, and welcome the snow. I do it with the rain. It's my belief system. Now, does he think I'm whacked in the head? Of course he does. Because the first time I did it was when they were cutting a tree. And I went to the tree and I spoke to the tree. And I thanked it for everything that it offered while it was here. But I know that it was sick and they were getting ready to cut it down. It's just my way. Now, he thought I'd lost my mind. So, the thing is that he had to ask me, because I told you I don't talk about my beliefs. I didn't get offended. I answered his question. How do you learn? How do you learn about other people's belief systems if you don't ask questions?
Exactly. Yeah. I always say during my lectures, I talk about asking questions. And one line is, if you don't ask a question, I 100% guarantee you will never get an answer. And that's it. Like, if you walk away without asking that question that you're dying to ask, you're never going to know. So just ask. The worst that can happen is, like, yeah, if there was something you didn't feel comfortable talking about tonight and I asked you about it, you could just say, I don't feel comfortable talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end. Like, okay, that's cool. Like, we won't talk about it and we'll move on to something else. That's great. So Crow of Judas, because Crow asked the question. Thank you for the $5, buddy. Appreciate it. But he said, do you think that aliens have visited the Earth? Kenny does not. He's wrong. Crow.
I lived in New Mexico. Roswell was only a few hours away from me. I do believe Kenny is wrong. Yes, I do believe aliens have come.
That's a great way to say it, Tish.
Okay.
She's like,
moving on.
I do believe Kenny is wrong.
Crow, we gotta have a talk. Project Mogul, Crow. Look it up. All right, moving on. Good one. That was a good answer. Obscure reference, man. At what point can you attack the character of these people? After numerous lies presented as truths and outright faking, can you start not believing them?
Honestly, I'm not sure I understand the question.
So I guess
that, like, when you're looking at like Twin Paranormal and Oh My Gosh, and I mean, I'm sorry. I'm trying to. I don't think anybody's character should be attacked, but that's me personally, because life is about balance. And if I attack others like that, it disrupts the balance. And
you believe you're going to get
karma, absolutely,
something like that. Okay.
Karma, yeah.
Okay.
And so all I'm saying is that when you attack the people, the ones that are watching them are not listening to you anymore. They cut off hearing. They no longer hear you, because in their eyes, you're attacking people, and that means you're attacking them. They believe. I watched it when I was in Elton Castile's live, The Occult Life. I don't know if Mariah's here or not. Her and I both were trying to tell these people, these items are not haunted. It's been proven. Go see Stevie. Go look at her videos. We were telling them, you will see how it's not real. What they're saying isn't true. And I swear to God, the comment that came back to me was, the problem is you do not understand how the paranormal works. So therefore, you do not understand this. You have to understand paranormal to get what it is we're saying. That's what they said.
You know what? I find that, see, to me, I find that funny because I think the person that said that,
I did too.
if you ask them, all right, define paranormal, they won't be able to tell you. They won't be able to articulate it except for saying probably something like ghost. It's a ghost, or it's beyond science. It's not something that's a good definition or even a well thought out belief. It will. That's why sometimes I guess sometimes my wife points it out. Like, I speak in a very, very straightforward tone when I'm talking to people, when we're having a conversation and I'm answering. I speak in a tone that to some people sounds aggressive. It comes off as aggressive. I don't mean to be aggressive. I'm just enthusiastic about answering the question. And
it took me a long time with Beardo. And the reason I say that is because he has a way of debunking that I would ask myself, is this because it's a UK thing? Am I not understanding? And then I realized he's just really passionate. And I put that with you. You're very passionate about what you believe. And I know that I can be that way, especially when I fire question after question after question after question. It's because I'm really trying to understand this, because I don't agree with you at all in some of the things. But I also don't want to say something that's going to be hurtful, but I'm limited. And I think a lot of people would ask more questions, but a lot of times I think that they don't ask them because they're afraid of what is going to be said to them in the chat as well. And I'm not saying anything against chat. I'm saying that there are people that will say things, and because, like I said, it's the written word, it's how we read it. So they might feel attacked when that wasn't the intent. Okay, I had one person tell me that I was a shit starter because I asked questions. I wasn't trying to start shit. I just wanted, I wanted to know something. And I was like, I can't ask you if you don't give me an outlet to ask. Right. So if there's no comment, I can't ask.
Yeah. And so if we're doing live streams for that purpose, for you and the viewers to ask questions, that's what you're supposed to do. But
some people will refrain from asking questions, and I think it's because they're afraid to let you know they believe in fairies, or they believe in Mothman, or they believe in Bigfoot, or they believe in aliens coming to Earth. Before I know they just don't want to ask the question because they're afraid of what others will think of them for asking it. Right. Me, I am 58 years old. I don't give a crap what anybody thinks about me. Like me, don't like me. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm not telling you to like it, to not like it. I really want to understand, because I'm not saying I'm 100% right. I don't know.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Damn it, Bob.
Damn it, Bob. Showed up.
Yeah, I don't. And that's the other thing. It's okay to say I don't know. Why is that so wrong? Why? I don't understand. If you don't know, you don't know. If you don't know how they did it, I don't mind when a debunker says, I really think they have a third person there. I can't prove they have a third person there. Right. But I really feel like that's what's going on here. You just can't see them. The shape is really good at that. He's really good at that. He'll say, I want to tell you that this is how it is, but I can't prove that that's how it is. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Right. I'm okay with that. But it gives me another thing to think about when I'm watching this person. Is that what they're doing? And then next time if I watch them, I'm going to look for that. Because they're not attacking the person. I don't like when people attack Twin Paranormal. I don't have a problem with them. But I understand the hatred people have for them. Like I said, I just think they're great at storytelling. They're great at storytelling.
All right. Thank you, Abs, for the 9. Was that 9 pounds? I don't know what that is.
9.
Yeah, 10 pounds. appreciate. I know. Just believe in ghosts. Apparently, you've had a couple of vodka shots. All right. That's what I saw. All right. I totally forgot my point. I was going to say something and I totally lost it. I totally lost it. I mean, so with the bunkers and stuff, yeah, I agree with how you said that. Like, if I think something is going on this way, if I think a experience or evidence was produced a certain way, that's how I'm going to present it. Like, this is how I would do it in that situation. And there's been times when I do like a TikTok channel and I've looked at different paranormal videos on there and tried to recreate them. And there's been several where I've done 3 or 4 videos of the same original video because I'm like, hey, I think it's done this way. And then I realize, oh, you know what? There's another way to do this. Here's a second way of doing it. And then here's a third way of doing it. These are all completely different ways, but they all give me the same results. So, yeah, there's multiple different ways. I don't know if they actually did it this way, but again, this creates doubt in a way saying, hey, don't believe it just because they presented it. Correct. You know, ask your questions and ask to be there. See if they can replicate it. Do this because they might be tricking you. They might be trying to trick you. So,
and I think that investigators, they need to stop saying the word evidence. Just say that you found something interesting, that you found something odd or something you can't explain right now, but stop calling it evidence, because evidence is proof. And no one that I know of in this universe has proof of anything. They don't have evidence. What they have is something unique or odd. Where I don't agree with you is, I'm sorry, I don't believe everything's pareidolia. I just don't.
So yeah, I will narrow that down to the paranormal community, because in other aspects, yeah, we do have evidence of stuff. Data is collected, we analyze it, and then we present it as evidence.
That's what I'm talking about.
The claim. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So we're on the same page. Okay. All right. So let's move on to another question, because we're getting down there. We got a half hour before the end of the show. Because if we don't end on time, I know I'm going to get shit from that one. And I'm not dealing with it. The side-eye guy, wasn't he banned? No, I love the side-eye guy. For Cree, since she's asked me 100 welcomed questions in my streams, what do you think? Who do you think has the burden of proof with paranormal claims? Oh,
I think the person, honest to God, I think the person making the claim has the burden of proof. But if a debunker comes along and makes a claim that this isn't proof, then they now have the responsibility to prove it to me that that's not proof. Because you're now saying it's not. Why is it not? Can you prove that it's not? That to me is how it's. To me, it's a tit for tat thing. It's an even bar thing. If you don't believe, if Kenny doesn't believe in anything paranormal, he says he has no beliefs at all. Okay, then prove to me that my beliefs are wrong. Because you're telling me they're wrong. Prove to me they're wrong. And if you can't prove to me they're wrong, quit telling me I'm wrong. Just say, in my opinion, you're not right. Okay, I'm good with that. But don't look at me and say to me that it's wrong, because in my eyes, you're wrong. So now we're not even having a discussion. We're having an argument. I don't want to argue. You know. So yeah, I think it depends on who's claiming what. I mean, if they say that this, when you know what, Seg, when you went to the Washoe Club and that scream happened. Now I know you edited a lot out, so we may not have seen it all, but that scream happened. You went outside right away. You guys ran right to it. You ran into a police officer. The police officer said he heard no scream. The people around you said they heard no scream. But yet you came back on your video and said you think it was a cat, that it was a cougar. That's what you said. When they told you that they had, yes, I know I'm a cougar too. My husband's 12 years younger than me. But I'm just saying, you came back and you said this. But no one saw any kind of a cat. No one claimed to have seen. They said they haven't seen a mountain lion there in forever. But yet you came out and you said, in your opinion, it's a cat. But you had zero proof that it was a cat. Zero. Now, I am not saying that scream was paranormal. For all we know, it could have been somebody getting it on in the back alley. I'm just saying, you had no proof that was a cat. No.
Our guy is laughing. He's laughing.
You know, it was like, why did you put that in there? And my question was in my head. My question in my head was, did you put it in there because you are a debunker and you felt you had to say it? Or do you really believe, truly, that's what that was? And that to me is the question. And that's what I asked myself. I've never asked him. And I'm not asking you now, Sek. I'm just saying that to me, it was, you didn't prove it was a cat. And to me, you needed to prove it was a cat because that was your claim. Your claim was it was a cat. Then prove it to me. Where's the cat?
So I will say this. I will say this about Side Eye Guy. I talk to him a lot offline. We talk on the phone quite often, and I relate to him probably the most out of everyone else that I know of in the debunking community. And I think he's a genuine guy. I don't think I don't get the impression that he would say anything just to say it because of a persona of a certain way he's viewed. I think he would say it because he's convinced of that. It sounded like a mountain lion to me after researching what a mountain lion sounds like. Mountain lions are known to be in the area. I offered my opinion. It was a cat. I said it was an opinion. Okay. So I think that is when you say it, like, again, if he said it as this is my opinion, it's likely a cat, then it's no more wrong or right than other people saying it's a ghost. Because he's forming an opinion, but he's forming an opinion without invoking a supernatural element.
And I believe if you said it was an opinion, I did not hear that. But the biggest thing I didn't hear was that it sounded to me like there was a question. And I don't know. To me, it was like it could have been, I can't be 100% sure. In my opinion, that's what it was. But that's true. He did say that.
Area, but more common than ghost.
But
yeah,
you also haven't been investigating as long as some. So I don't know. And I'm not saying that because I agree with that. Actually,
and then
on that seg,
honestly,
I'm just saying that it was just, I think it was the way it was worded in there for me that I questioned. Now, is he saying that because he truly believes that was a cat? Or was he saying that because he felt that he needed to put that doubt in there? Because he is, I didn't know. I really didn't know. It was just, I didn't know.
I would say my impression was that it was neither. It was neither. He said it because based on what he looked up later, it sounded like an animal. So that's what he said. I don't Seg is not, to me, he's not the kind of person that will say something just to say it because to save face. Like, I'm not going to say, no, something is not true to say it's not true.
I appreciate the fact he heard that blood curdling scream and him and Dave took off running. They didn't hesitate.
Well,
it was somebody in trouble.
Yeah,
that could be too. But it really was, somebody, in his eyes, somebody was in trouble. And I can honestly say, I know animal sounds can sound freaky. The first time I ever heard a fox cry, I freaked the hell out, ran outside, looking around, freaking out because I had never heard a fox scream in my life. And that was terrifying.
Yeah. And I mean, there's other things like where we're from in Philadelphia, there are red-tailed hawks. And if you ever look up the screech of a red-tailed hawk, it sounds like a woman being murdered.
Murdered.
And
Yes, it does.
where it happens is a Fort Mifflin, which is right next to a nature preserve where red-tailed hawks are known to be. So I can see that being an issue. And you're right. Like the actual reaction in the video with Seg was good because he thought at first somebody was in trouble and they ran to help.
That's
good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And he did another one at a prison and he heard a sound. I think it was with Joe that time. And he went running like hell towards it to find out that it was Joe that made the sound. But the point was, he did Joe. what he always complains that people don't do. Why aren't you going towards the sound? He actually runs towards it. But, you know.
All right. Let's move on. We got a couple more questions to get to, and we only got like 10 minutes to get to them. All right. R&B. I'm Native American, though my father's Puerto Rican roots. I'm tentative to make contact with the tribe just because I don't understand that culture.
But they understand that you don't understand it. My whole family has their Indian card now. And believe it or not, I'm the only one that doesn't. Both my sisters, my brother, my nephews, their kids, they all have their Indian card. I never felt worthy enough to have an Indian card because I wasn't born into the tribe. And they've been nagging me to death to go get it. And it's just a requirement of my birth certificate and my mother's maiden name and my grandfather, Pleasant Return Mann. That's it.
What's excuse my ignorance. You said Indian card? What is that?
Yeah.
What is that?
If you have a percentage, I don't know what they're at right now. But like I said, I'm almost half Cherokee Indian. And my kids would qualify for it because not only am I half Cherokee Indian, their father was Navajo and Apache.
Okay. Is it like an ID card?
So it's a card that you can get that says that you are of this tribe, and you can actually utilize that if you wanted to for things like student loans and whatnot if you want to. But my nephew took it a step further, and he and his kids actually became a part of the tribe. And my nephew is into law, and he has been helping them out with laws and stuff for the Cherokee tribe.
Okay.
And so, I mean, he took it a step further, but they would absolutely accept you. All you've got to do is look into it and stuff. And there is nothing wrong with that. They're very much so. I haven't found any Native American. Like I said, I don't belong to the Navajo tribe or the Apache tribe. I just lived in New Mexico and had friends that knew them. And we went onto the reservation and we started talking. Now, I did help them. I used to make laws for people with disabilities. I worked with the senators and the representatives and stuff of New Mexico to pass laws. And I went into with one of the Native American, what do you call them? The workers, case workers that worked with the tribes. And I went in and I helped her to help write up a law in regards to them for their tribe. And that's how I got to know the Navajo Nation and how I got accepted into theirs. But they would be very open, very open. There's nothing wrong with that. You're learning your roots, and they're happy to have that.
Cool. That's
nice
good. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. So that's cool. I love learning.
Yes.
I love it. All right. What else we got?
Rephrasing
obscure
a
reference.
question.
Oh, let me rephrase the question I asked. There are people who have been proven cheating, creating fake things, enhancing videos, etc. At what point do we stop listening to their antics?
Don't watch them.
Yeah, I would say don't watch them. Like,
it's like when I have a song I can't stand, I just turn the radio.
I only watch. So there's two ways I watch a ghost hunting show. One is when I'm working on something they're involved in, and I have to watch it for research. So because I want to see what they did there, I want to see what they're claiming. I want to, this 1, 2, 3, ABC, whatever. The second way, which is probably how I see most paranormal shows, is because I watch Side Eye Guy and Beardo, Mr. Gray, and Crow, and all these people that do their live reactions and stuff to it. So that's it. And there has come a point, again, with that limited viewing.
When it comes to equipment, Crow is the best at teaching you equipment, and in a sense. No offense to you, Kenny, but he is, because he makes it so funny and so layman that you actually understand what he's. What the
All
point
right,
is.
I'm taking offense.
I don't agree with him. I don't agree with any of you on the spirit box. I don't, but that's because of my personal beliefs. And, you have to understand the Cherokee Indian belief. Okay, that the Cherokee Indian belief is that there are signs from the spirit world in everything, especially words and song. And so when you guys say about a song coming on, I'm like, yeah, but there's a freaking trillion songs out there. That one sentence comes out, and that isn't relative, even though it's answers the question I asked.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, if we listen to these sessions that are recorded, for the most part, once in a while, I'll give you it lines up. It doesn't mean that it's actually in the proper context, but for the most part, it doesn't line up. It's a completely different answer to what they asked. And the radio, which is playing all these stations anyway, is the one that dictates the conversation. So that's why I probably the other people have a problem with it, because it's not answering the question. It's giving it's the station at that point that came through the loudest and clearest, which they could understand a word. And instead of it answering their question, they took it as, okay, let me change the narrative here and go with this. So the regular radio is usually leading the conversation. And
all I'm going to say to Obscure Reference Man, I want you to remember that there were teams out there like Mind Seed. And there's another one, Omar, even for a long time, stop doing paranormal. Yasko started putting it was for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to tell you, I went to Kalani Ghost Hunter. I went to one of his lives, and he said he was getting ready to do an investigation with Yasko. And I said, well, I'm curious. Are you going entertainment only now? Because he puts all his videos at entertainment only. And he said, you know what? That's a really good point. From now on, when I'm going to do a video to me that is supposed to be just entertainment, he says, I'm going to start marketing it entertainment. He says, and those I'm really serious about, I won't. And I said, well, that's a good plan. But so I'm just saying that changes have been made. They're not as quick. I'm sorry, you're not going to get rid of Sam McColby. You're not going to get rid of Overnight. You're not going to get rid of Twin Paranormal. Yeah, but you're not gonna. That's just not going to happen. No, that's why they need to start going for smaller teams.
It's not.
They need to start looking at smaller teams.
They're
and promoting
popularity. It's popularity.
But they also need to start promoting the other teams that they want, and not just the two that are constantly mentioned. There are great teams out there. You have the Occult Life. You had Two Ply Paranormal. You have Paranormal Quest. You have Adelaide Haunted Horizons. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of them that are really good. And Joe Vitale. You have Jeff from Boo Productions.
Oh, screw Joe Vitale. Screw him.
You have teams that are really good that are never mentioned or rarely mentioned in lives. Rarely. And if you've got to point people towards what to watch instead of constantly telling them what not to watch, because people will go, oh, I've never heard of Entity 7, and they'll go to his channel and actually watch it. I've never heard of Boo Productions. They'll go and they'll watch them. And Joe, if you're still on here, stop calling yourself lame and boring. Because then you're going to make the people believe you're lame and boring, and they won't come and watch.
He totally is.
You are not lame and boring.
I love Joe.
I do too.
Right. So to answer the question, your
don't watch.
Quick answer: don't watch.
Don't watch.
Yeah, if you get fed up with them, don't watch. Okay, fair enough. All right, moving on. Oh shit, we gotta hurry up. We're good? Yeah. Okay. Shadow Cat, why do you ask so many questions in chat? That's why she's here tonight.
I asked
she
a
has
lot
so
of
many
questions,
questions.
but there are times when I actually will ask a question. I even kind of know the answer. Depends on the chat I'm in, and I do that to hopefully get people to see that you can ask questions, and people aren't going to just jump on you. They're going to openly accept the question, and so that they'll open up and they start asking questions. Because sometimes y'all have really good questions you never ask, and then you'll ask a question. It's like, "Ooh, that was a good one. I didn't think about that." You know, it depends, but a lot of it is because I want the answer. Mm-hmm. If they have the answer and I can't find it, I want it. If they don't know it and they say I don't know, okay, well, you know what? I'm no worse off because I asked. Okay. I didn't know it either, or I wouldn't have asked it.
All right. Next. Is that it? We good? We have any more? Oh, we do. The occult life. Hey, Mariah. Are the tribes accepting for other people, white or other cultures, to ask questions and learn about their culture? Zach and I are very curious, but don't want to overstep.
I think that if you spoke to somebody within the tribe first and told them your intent, they might. But in all honesty, I have to say that the tribes I know of, it was because, like I said, I helped tribes do things. And because I am Native American, it helped. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how open they would be because they typically don't, but they've been known to. But to me, I think if you talk to somebody within the tribe, they can at least point you to who you can go to talk to see if somebody would be willing to answer questions.
Right. Well, that's good. Yeah. I mean, when I approach a subject that I'm not sure about, I usually go to a friend or an acquaintance that has ties to that group and just say,
exactly.
Hey,
that's your best way.
Very curious about it. And most of my friends know, like I'm always, when it comes to what we think are sensitive questions, I'm always prefacing it with, hey, I don't know how to ask this, so I'm going to just be blunt and ask my question. So please don't take offense to it or don't be insulted. I don't know how to ask this question. And I ask. And I think that's pretty good. Yeah, obscure reference, man. We did that today. Like I wasn't sure how to ask a question and I'm just going to say it, but let you know that I'm going to say something that might be weird and just be prepared for it.
Well, that's like, I know that when we first met, when I was first asking questions, I have a high suspicion that you thought I was a troll. I know that there were a few people that thought that I was a troll because I did ask a lot of questions that I was, and you would always refer to something that wasn't my intent. A lot of times that's not what I meant. I wasn't talking about equipment, or I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about in general, you know.
Right.
But I didn't make that clear enough. That's on me, not on you. Okay. So my thing is that you know, when it comes to I don't know. It's just, to me, it's like, just ask your question.
Right.
The worst that can happen is they're going to say, you know what, you didn't need to say that. Did you look at him and say, you know, I wasn't trying to be offensive. I don't try to be offensive to anybody, ever. That is not my intention.
I think it's good. It's funny. It's a almost a catch-22 because for me, I preach, ask questions. It's part of my lectures. It's part of my strategies. It's the poster and handouts that I give out. Always talks about asking questions. I ask as many questions as you do, but usually in person. But you know, I'm usually face to face, so I can gauge reaction and stuff like that. But I ask a lot of questions, and you see it from other channels, other people. But yet, when people start asking questions, then it becomes, oh, whoa, you know, it becomes a problem or something like that. And like, you reached out to me the first time you reached out to me was to say like, hey, I know I ask a lot of questions. I don't mean to be a troll. I think he actually used that phrase. And I think we talked about it, and I was like, I don't take it that way. I know you're asking questions. I know you're coming from a different perspective. So I get it. And even I think if you see frustration in me on the show, it's not necessarily because you're asking so many questions. It's because I can't get to all your questions because I want to get to everyone else in line too.
Yeah. And I'm okay with that. Just so you know, just for future reference, I'm okay with it.
Right.
Because if I really want to know, if I really want the answer, I'm going to email you and ask you the question again.
Right. That's perfect. I mean, that's there. That's why we put the email up there. You know, it's usually at the bottom, scrolling across at the end of the show. People can do it. You can reach out, and not just you, but several people from the chat have done that and asked questions, follow-up questions, and I'm fine with that. I love it. And yeah, exactly. I mean, you can ask a lot of questions. Anyone can ask questions. That's great. If it gets too many for a show, because again, like I want to make sure it spreads out and I get to other people's questions and stuff. Then if I don't get to you, follow it up. You know, email me. And we can
I don't get offended. I know I ask a lot of questions, and that's okay. If you don't get to them, you don't get to them. Hey, there's only so much time in a day.
Right.
I'm all right. I'm all right with that. But I told you, my poor mother, God bless her. I mean, she's the one that introduced me to a library, because I've always been one to ask questions, and I was not the typical why kid. I wanted to know why, what, how, who, when it began. You know.
Yeah, I want to know everything. I mean, I'm curious. I was a mechanic. I was an engineer. I was an aerospace mechanic, auto mechanic, X-ray engineer. I love taking things apart. I ask questions. How does this do it? I'd start putting your questions he doesn't answer in a postcard. Kenny loves mail. There you go. Just send me a postcard. That'll be great. Because then I'll have pen pals. That'll be, oh my God, that'll be awesome. But yeah, I mean, the questions are good, and I encourage it. And I mean, that's the first rule of this show is I encourage you to ask questions, and we all should ask questions, and not just, hey, how you doing? Or what's up? You know, like if you're not sure about something, if you don't know, like when you said about like the Indian card, I had no idea there was such a thing. So I want to know. And I asked you if we're talking about beliefs that you don't feel comfortable believing in, I'm going to ask you about it, but I'm also going to ask, like, are you comfortable with this? And these are all important questions so that we all understand and we all grow. And that's the point of it. So, Cree, you a guest for us. Oh, look at that. I haven't even been a guest on your show, Mariah. I feel jaded. I feel pushed aside. I see how it is. It's all right. You know. All right. So we got to wrap this up because I have to. All right. So, I know I have been on the show. I think I've invited myself on a few times. So it's all good. All right. So let's see. Do you have anything that you want to announce that you're doing or anything like that?
No, just writing my books. Like I said, okay. I am writing my fantasy series that's real popular. But I want you to know I did start a series because of you. And it is what I'm trying to do is to put your teachings into the paranormal series. Now, yes, okay, it's a guy with demons, but the point is, they weren't demons. They're not demons. They're demons, because people don't realize, and I make sure that it's put in there, that demons weren't a thing until Christianity. They were demons, and they were actually protectors. They weren't evil beings. Yeah. Okay, so mine are actually demons. But the point is that what I'm teaching them about is your thoughts on the equipment. your thoughts on how paranormal should be investigated, these kind of things. And so I've watched you, I've watched Seg, I've watched Beardo, I've watched Crow, I've been watching, trust me, I have been watching the hell out of you guys. Just learning it for this series so I can put things in there, because my thought is there's some people in my world that don't watch YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. They don't watch it, so they don't know. Yeah. So they don't know you, but they do read my books. I'm telling you, I'm pretty popular with my genre. And so I started this series, and the first book really threw people for a loop because it's completely unlike anything I've done before. But I also make sure that I've been putting in the dedication area where to find where to find these different people that I talk about. Yes, I'm making sure that in dedication that they're all put there. So I'm making you
damn right.
No, I didn't even name him Kenny. But
no. As far as anyone cares and knows, Cree Storm has made Kenny Biddle a superhero in one of her books. That's all anyone needs to know.
And he'll have a lightsaber and everything. But no, but I do have to tell you, I walked out of Raiders of the Lost Ark, just so you know. I couldn't stand it. I hated it with a passion. I walked out of it. My school was showing it as a special prize for everybody. I walked out and went to the library. I told him, I said, you know what? I'm too good of a student. I don't miss any days, and I shouldn't be tortured and punished this way. I'm going to the library. And that's where I went.
So, you are now enemy number one of Side-Eye Guy.
Well, all I'm going to tell you is, are you ready? I fell asleep in the first 30 minutes of the original Star Wars movie, and I've never seen a Star Wars movie after that. So, just letting you know. I've been meaning to
we're done. Show's over. Not doing this shit no more.
But because of you, I did start that series.
Oh, thank you.
And I make sure people know that
this
is based on real paranormal investigating and what it should look like.
Okay.
How can we get your books?
So,
is there
I just posted the link
put it in there?
to your website in the chat. So if people want to check it out, and all the love is going away. People are like, "You're making enemies of nerds." Cree is banned. There it is.
Sorry. Hey, I've never made an evil remark about y'all shows ever. I just don't want. I've never made fun of you for.
All right.
I did.
All right.
Lord of the Rings.
So let me wrap it up real quick and just say to a few people, just stick around for a couple minutes. Don't go anywhere. Even after the outro, you stick around. Okay. So here we go. Couple of events, 2 quick events. October 10th, I will be in Indiana, Pennsylvania, doing a workshop for the Indiana, Pennsylvania Historical and Genealogy Society. It's going to be a couple hours. We're going to talk about ghost hunting equipment, Cree's favorite stuff to talk about. But we're going to go through the popular claims and then the science behind them and issues about controlled environments and variables and stuff like that. It's a great workshop. I'm really excited about doing it. So if you're in the area, come on out. The following weekend, October 18th, I will be in. Where are we going to be in? What's that? Clarksburg? I think Clarksburg, West Virginia.
Indiana before that. For
the West Virginia Skeptic Society first, hopefully annual Skeptic Camp. Clarksburg. Yeah, Clarksburg.
Kit Ford.
Oh, there's Kit. Yeah, Kit's going to be there. So it's a one-day conference. There's like 6 or 7 speakers that are going to be there. I'm going to be there. John without an H, who is often in the chat. Daniel Reed is running it. He's going to be speaking. And I think Tim Vickers is also going to be there from 3 Tortured Souls and the stand-in for Donna sometimes. Oh, then there's Daniel Reed. So 8 speakers. Sorry, Daniel. Thank you very much for correcting me. So 8 speakers. It's a full day. It's going to be so much fun. I'm really excited to see a lot of people. Susan Gerbic, who is one of our CFI ambassadors, she's coming from California. She's going to be there and talking probably about psychics, because that's usually what she talks about. Oh my God, that's awesome. Beardo's been doing a 24-hour live fundraiser, and it's at 9,000. He's raising money for mental health awareness, and it's a organization that he's working with. So really, really cool. That's so awesome that he's doing that. So after we're done here, be sure to go over there if he's still going and support him, because that's important. Awareness of mental health is really, really important. And I think that's all I have for now. Do
we have a Halloween thing?
Do we have? Oh, and then October 31st, we're going to be doing a show here. I haven't worked out all the details yet, but things are in motion. We're going to be doing a Houdini seance on the show that Friday
on Halloween.
Yeah. So I've been working with Tim, who is Obscure Reference Man, and several other people. And we're probably going to set up in a different location, still in the building, but make it spooky. And we're going to do a seance. We're going to see if we can contact Houdini. We're not, but we're going to try anyway. And we're going to have some fun. So make sure that you put it on your schedule, and you go get your candy if that's what you do, and then come back and watch the show.
Yes, it's Donna's birthday.
Donna's birthday too. So yeah, we're going to be doing some send me mail for Donna.
Oh no, we don't need
send birthday cards. Yeah, we're totally doing this. We're send birthday cards to this address for Donna, so that we can wish her all a happy birthday, and we'll save them all. I'll just put them in a pile, and you'll open them. The show.
That would be cool.
All right, everyone. Thank you for hanging out. Cree Storm, thank you so much for hanging out and coming on to have a discussion with me.
Thank you.
I know you were a little unsure about it or nervous about it, but
yeah, everybody loved you, and it went very well.
Yeah, it went well, and I'm glad that we had this time to actually talk and get to know each other more. Very important question I have to answer here.
What rum cake? Oh,
did you like?
Oh, I liked the lemon or the pineapple.
The chocolate.
Oh, the chocolate one was really good too.
Yeah, we can go with that.
Kenny's picking my birthday cake. Nice. We're gonna go with that.
Taste test it first to make sure it's okay. It's safe.
Okay.
So
that was funny.
Everyone, have a good weekend. Be safe, and there is no after show because we have to go. Donna has to get. She has to get up early. Yeah. And I know we have to get back and watch the ball game. So, but Cree, you stay on, and everyone else, we will see you next week. I'll see you next week, and we'll have an open mic.
I might be here.
Yeah. We'll just do an open mic night.
Okay.
And then Cree will ask you 57 questions.
Okay. That's okay. She keeps us going. There's nothing wrong with questions.
All right, everybody. Have a good weekend. See you later.
Hey, diddle diddle, here's a little riddle. Who's the best debunker? Is it Kenny Biddle? Oh, he's good, not just a little. Not at the bottom or even the middle. Strike a chord like a fiddle. Tasting the rainbow like a skittle. That's fragile and brittle. You can watch him take a problem and start to riddle the problem away. He does not play. He takes his job so seriously. He loves a challenge and won't turn you away. It's such a skeptic, he keeps stones. Believers exposing the fake. It wouldn't take him long to find a needle in hay. Use a magnet, damn it. Now take a drink of Kenny's specialty. Someone may say that's not for me. To each their own, it will be. Man, Kenny's such a skeptic, drinking skeptical tea. Like and subscribe, everybody turn notifications on. And go watch his show and forget about this song. Mr. Wizard or Bill Nye the Science Guy, can you remember? You like Kenny better, so head to the Skeptical Help Bar and meet the bartender. Pick up a drink and relax, cause nobody does this better. Not even close, not even a little. He's the one and only Kenny Biddle.